So you guys have had 10 downtime days. I got with everybody on, I think it was the next day. I think it was Friday. I sent everybody an email. So I want to know what you guys did with your downtime days. I got two emails back. I got one from Dag and I got one from Barlin. And I actually, sorry about that, I also got one from Garkin as well. So we'll kind of go over your downtime days. We'll kind of figure out what you guys did, and we'll see what happens. So the one thing is, if you didn't get back with me, we're just going to go default, and you guys basically just had a modest cost of living at 10 gold a day. So I'll take 10 gold off of Elias's sheet form, and in Zeus you can go ahead and deduct 10 gold from your sheet as well. Just kind of kicking it around Oakhurst, not doing anything too strenuous or nothing like that. So first we're going to go to Gretch. Got to tell us a little bit about what you have done with your downtime days. Thank you guys for the follows.
Let me
Tier,
know in chat
I'm
hearing a lot
resub,
of robotic sounds on my end, so it could be something on my end as far as the internet goes. But briefly summarizing my 10 days, the first night party, I spent some time drinking, being an underage, being only 15. In Faerun, it's kind of, I think, frowned upon to drink at a bar, but after the strenuous work we'd gone through, I figured, what the heck? I knocked back a few, and ended up retiring to my quarters upstairs with one of the bar wenches and had a great evening. After about 5 hours of sleep, though, I was abruptly awoken by a dream that I had, kind of reminding me of what took place with my family back on our estate. A little bit about my history. Parents, and I had two parents and a brother and a sister, and
I hope
one
you
of
had
them,
two parents.
they were all destroyed or killed off by kobolds and not kobolds. I'm sorry, gnolls and trolls, along with what I perceived to be a lich guiding them. He had passed through the town around me, and ruined it, raised the people there, and kind of cleaned out my homestead. I had hid in a cellar and watched as this all pass by, and this was way back. As far as my current 10 days go, this dream is encompassing all of that. I woke up,
another lifetime,
headed towards Neverwinter. It's what I told everybody in town as I was going to Neverwinter. I borrowed a horse, or rented a horse, and took off. 2 days ride away, I stopped before going to Neverwinter, of course, and checked out the old homestead to find that there was a new trading post set up there, because apparently the person who bought it from the person I sold it to created exactly what I wanted to do. What my family had tried to do was create this little trading post where anybody can come through, going from Neverwinter or from anywhere to Neverwinter, or vice versa, to pick up stuff and supply trade. And I took some time to sit by one of the trees I used to sit at as a child, and a younger child, I should
What
say.
if he took a poop under that tree?
And had an opportunity to go through one of the books that my pa had, and upon opening it,
They can't hear
a little
me.
slip of paper popped out, and it had something called Subject 2 on it. And having opened it, I saw it actually on the front of the journal. Having opened it and finding this little slip of paper, I see a little etching of print on it that said Soul Seed. Not knowing what that was, I unfolded the note to see what appeared to be a dagger and some history on it, some limited information about its whereabouts, last known whereabouts. And after that, I decided that it was time to make my way back to the clerk, that little shop there, tell him the history of the place, and asked if it would be okay if I stayed with him for a couple of days to unwind and help him out with some chores that need to be done on site. At that point, After 2 days,
Chores.
I had no problems at all. Took up my horse and headed back to Oakhurst.
Oh.
And before I left, though, I left a note with him. His name was Samuel. I left
Thanks
him
for the follows,
a note that
guys.
said, "Open only when all hope is lost." And then I sent back out to Oakhurst, made it back with less than 12 hours to spare, grabbed Mount Hope now, took some time with my quarters, and this time without the bar winch, so I could get some sleep. And after that, I woke up the next day ready to go.
All right. Very nice. So in the middle of the night, you felt compelled to wake up. That basically the tome had been calling you. And you opened up this tome, and you could have swore that you looked through all of this tome. But when you opened this up, Dag, it was actually hollow. And when you opened it up, of course there were some pages and whatnot, but basically the bulk of the pages have been hollowed out. And when you opened it up, there was a black mask, and it's made of alabaster. And for some reason, you're just compelled to put this mask on. So why don't you give me a wisdom throw really quick? Wisdom saving throw really quick. Because this mask is calling out to you, Dag, put me on.
Wisdom saving throw?
A wisdom saving throw. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for the follows. Oh, so you are compelled, Dag, to put the mask on, and you fight it, and you try to not put the mask on, but you put it on. And when you put this mask on, you have a vision, and this vision is of the dagger Soul Seether. And you can see that this dagger, Soul Seether, I'm butchering the English language there, you know where it's located. Your vision tells you that it is somewhere on an altar on the top of some pyramid that has runes on the top of the pyramid. And you can look down. It's probably several 100 feet down. And you can see the different tiers of this pyramid. And you're surrounded on top of this pyramid by a really thick jungle, and way off into the distance you can see what appears to be maybe a large body of water or an ocean. And then as you just start to take a nice deep breath, you force the mask off of your face, and it pops down back into the hollowed pages of the book, and then the cover of the book slams shut. Poof. And kind of some dust kind of comes out of the pages and stuff. And then you're in the cold sweats. So that's what happened with you, Dag. Then you wake up, and it is council day. So, next, we're going to go to Master Barlin. Barlin, why don't you tell us everything about what you wanted to do during your 10 days of downtime?
Well, I'm definitely, when we get back to town after we meet with Lady Herkel and we get our reward, get a good night's sleep, and I'm going to get up bright and early, and I'm going to study all of the dragon-based tomes and scrolls that we found in the Sunken Citadel. I'm just giddy and excited about this information. So I'm sure that Oakhurst doesn't have a library, so I'm going to take them to the temple with the little gnome, and do my study there for probably half a day to see if I can glean any information from these old pieces, old relics of information. And then when I'm done, take them back to the party. And then I want to grab the wormling hide that we found, the little white dragon, and take it over to old Rurok and get with the ancient dwarf to see what, old spleen splitter, and see what he can do to craft us some type of armor or some type of apparel that we can use to benefit from that. And also talk with Garkon about possibly working with Rurok to help craft that item. Might be something that he would be able to benefit from as well. And then going to stop by the local inn, not the inn, but the supply store with Lady Carowinds, and pick up a few items like some glass bottles and vials. Convert my old hemp rope to a silken rope, a little lighter. Going to pick up a few more items, some more bottles of oil, and then I'm going to set out for Neverwinter the quickest way possible, because I would like to visit the Bard College there and visit their library, and I would always also like to visit, using my background of to be able to gain access to different libraries, and I want to spend as many days as possible studying and looking for information on the great old ones. Any arbitrary, like poems or maybe songs, as a bard, I would be interested in that, as well as anything that would remotely give me information about that. I'm just fascinated with that information, specifically with dragons, since we know that dragons are some of the oldest lived creatures in Faerun. So that's something that really piques my interest.
Thanks for the follows, everybody.
Talking with any contacts, like any beggars or any gnome tinkers, other bards in the area, even in my temple, Agma's temple, and then make my way back, catch up with the party, and then check with Rurok to see what happened with the armor, or if it would take maybe on our next return trip to Oakhurst after our next adventure before the armor is completed.
Aye! Rurok Splitter here. Aye, I've got some good, and I've got some bad news for ye, Master Barlin. First off, the good news is, this dragon scale can be forged into some bit of armor, but unfortunately, I don't think, well, I know I have the skills to make the armor, to forge the armor, but my forge and all of the tools that I have here, I do not think would be good enough to forge something of this quality. So I'm going to have to try to think on this for you, Master Barlin, and get back to ye. And also, my new apprentice, Gherkin, he's going to be called Gherkin until he becomes, I guess, you're not going to be a master off the bat, but he's going to be helping me as my apprentice here at the Smith. Now, Master Barlin,
I'm going to break out of Rurok here for a second. When you go to Neverwinter, you go to the college. You spend almost a week there. You have some type of epiphany as you're searching through all of these old rusty tomes and all these scrolls, and you have this epiphany. And anytime that you want to do a skill check, a history skill check pertaining to anything with the great old ones, any kind of like crazy deity, anything associated with maybe otherworldly deities, the astral plane, you're going to get a +1 to that skill check. That's because you've done the research during your downtime for that. Now, that's going to be permanent as well. So you can make another skill on your sheet that has to do with, history on planar entities and stuff like that. All of the different gods that have to do with the great old ones, you'll get a bonus to now. That's a permanent bonus. Now, you guys also wanted to work on a home base, and I'm going to get with you guys in just a second on that. So don't forget to add that skill check. Now, Gherkin, are you back, Gherkin? Gherkin, are you able to, I hope he's able to talk now. Let's see.
So
Gherkin, are you back, Gherkin? Can you speak?
Well, Garkin can listen then, 'cause you, my friend Garkin,
You've been working over your downtime days. You've been working with good old
Rurak Spleen Splitter.
and he is basically a master of the forge. And over your basically 10 to 12 days of downtime-ish, you are going to become proficient with the blacksmithing tools. So on your character sheet, and you also receive a set of blacksmithing tools as a reward from Rurak for completing a very short and quick apprenticeship, which you actually excelled at. So now you're proficient with blacksmithing tools, and you've got a set of tools. Now, Garkin, you are speaking with Rurak Spleen Splitter. And Rurak, he tells you about where he trained, because, he was training you. He was trained by a master dwarf named Durgan the Smith. And he was an apprentice under Durgan for many years. He says that he really screwed around a lot, and he could have got through apprenticeship, but he said, you did really well, so you're proficient with it. Now he tells you about this area that is actually a sort of like a hidden fortress at the base of, sort of like in the nooks and crannies of Mount Hotenow. And this area has a forge. And this place was called Kundrakar. Khundrukar. Kundrakar. And this is where Durgan built this small little, it's not really a civilization, but he built this mining community within the base of Mount Hotenow. And Rurak, he says, I think I know. I think I know what we can do now. I think we may be able to go back to Kundrakar and well, we would have to probably kill a bunch of orcs first and clear the forge out. But I think that would be a great place to forge this new piece of armor for the bard. And he goes on to telling you that Durgaden, he built this, mining community. They have this insane forge inside of this place. And there were many items that Durgaden had created. Well, over time, the orcs started encroaching into Kundrakar. And over time, the dwarves just kept dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And this is after Rurak had left. And Rurak, he had been traveling. He had been doing some work in Neverwinter. He had been doing some work at Baldur's Gate. He had been doing some work at basically all of the major cities, Daggerford, Waterdeep, etc. And the orcs finally kicked out all of the dwarves. But then, of course, Durgaden, he wanted his forge back. So he led this massive offensive, and all of the dwarves died. So this Kundrakar has been in the possession of the orcs for many years. But Rurak, he knows that the forge there has the potential to create items of a superb quality and actually forge magic items, which is a rare thing. So he says, maybe what you can do, you and your party adventurers, maybe you can go and help clean these orcs out, take care of this problem. And Rurak has a great idea of him moving back into Kundrakar and maybe even taking some dwarves with him. He says he loves Oakhurst and all, but he would rather, follow in the footsteps of his dwarven mastersmith, Durgaden. So he wants you to go and clear out this place. And remember, the council's going to be meeting. All right. And the council has met. And a couple other things have happened too. First off, you guys knew about the deaths of Tolgan and Sharwin. Okay. And the matriarch, Carowin, she has informed you that a priest has been called in from Waterdeep, well, from Neverwinter because it's closer. And the resurrection has been done already for Tolgan and Sharwin. So they're basically bedridden for the next 30 days, 60 days. So they've been resurrected, and the matriarch, Carowin, she thanks you for that. You basically, brought the bodies back, and she could, she resurrected them. She didn't, she just didn't want them to die. She wanted to bring them back to life. So she did. Now the council met. And the council, they traveled from all over the area. Some members from Daggerford, some members from the council, they're from Luskin, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, etc., etc. This council got together. And the council, they want you to allow them to keep the Golthius tree down in the Sunless Citadel. And when this happens, they don't want you to go in there and interfere. They don't want you to destroy the tree. That's what they do not want. Because they want to see if they could have some kind of apothecary, some other scholars, some other, archmages. They want to see if they can duplicate this process and make more trees. And they want to harvest these apples. This could really help Oakhurst. This could give Oakhurst the money that they need to expand the city. They could do a lot of things. Now, they need a militia because they've only got a sort of like the reserves. If there's any problems, and they'll just call them up, and it's just the citizens of Oakhurst. Well, they want to have a standing militia because they want to put the militia into the Sunless Citadel, and they need armor, they need weapons. And they got with Rurok. Well, actually, Rurok went to them. And there's hidden caches of these, extraordinary weapons and armor and all this other good stuff in there. And if you can find these hidden caches, because it's rumored from the dwarves, and of course, over the years, Rurok has heard this story. But of course, nobody's gone in there to find out. So if you can find the hidden caches of armor and weapons, then that would be one cost that Oakhurst will not have to do, and then they can just train a standing militia. So one of the council members agrees to this and says that the choice is ultimately up to you. And to reward you and to compensate you for this, we will give you a plot of land here in Oakhurst, and then you can build anything that you want. If you want to put a fortified keep, if you want to build just a small residence, a large residence, anything you want, you can do it. But we want access, and we want control of the Sunless Citadel. And we're going to put men in there to thwart any kind of attacks by the goblins or the kobolds, because they're probably going to want to go back in there. So this militia with the new weapons from the Forge, from Kundrakar, that would be a huge boost and a great start for creating that. So what say you, adventurers?
We inform the town's elite of the potential dangers of the Citadel, such as the twig blights that the tree seems to foster, the necromantic energy that comes off of it, as well as finding out that this tome that we collected has passages in it that could actually be quite dangerous. So we probably want to give that tome to the gnome cleric in the temple for safekeeping. And then also let them know that our wonderful wizard had encouraged a goblin to go out and spread the news that he was a fire god And so they should be aware that goblins may be coming back into the area to be prepared for that.
Well, they should be able to take care of goblins. Now, as you agree to this, one of the council members appears to be someone of an arcane background, unlatches a bag that is attached to his belt. And he says, "Please do not lose this. I have had this for many years." And this bag, it looks like this. And he says, "You may use this to store all of the armor and all of the weapons that you find within the forge."
Nice.
And it tells you it's a bag of holding. And it will hold quite a bit of stuff. So there you go. You have someone put it. Who wants to hold the bag of holding? Who wants it in their possession? And this is just a loanee. So you'll have to give that back whenever you get back to Oakhurst.
Everybody
So,
cool with
who
the
would
paladin
want this?
carrying it?
Fine by me.
Garkin? Sure. I'll put it on Garkin. Let's do it. All right, Garkin. You've got the bag of holding. All right. So what do you guys think?
Can you bring Garkin up?
Oh, Garkin's back. So there you go, Garkin. You've got the bag of holding. A loner.
Nice. Is this working now?
It is.
Yep.
Welcome.
Yay.
Can
Alright,
we
adventurers.
persuade our master spleen splitter that if we help clean out the forge, would we be able to utilize that as a like a forward base of operation when we're away from Oakhurst?
Yeah, if you're in the north, and actually, let me give you the map of the Sword Coast. The only map that Wizards of the Coast has of D&D 5e. Oh, I'm just kidding. That was shots fired, but I'm just kidding. Okay, so up here, another black point is drawn at the base of Mount Hotenau. This is where the forge is. This is where Kundrakar is. And it's about a 5-day journey, 4-day journey, somewhere around there from Oakhurst. And this other point, this is where the Sunless Citadel is. And that's where Oakhurst is going to start putting their militia and their newly trained militia. So, and plus you guys are going to have a plot of land at Oakhurst as well, and then you guys can do whatever you want there. You could probably even sell it if you wanted to. So, Bartlin, you got a bonus to history checks regarding any kind of weird deities involving other planes or the astral plane itself. Garkin, you've got proficiency now with blacksmithing tools, which is pretty cool. And you also got a nice dwarvish tool set from Rudrock as well. And Dag, you had some type of vision that has shown you where this soul seether dagger is that's been in your dreams. And you found that mask in the book. And it showed that the dagger was on this altar in the middle of a jungle with the sea off into the distance or another large body of water. And you were on like a leveled or shaved off top of the pyramid. And there was an altar with the dagger spiked into it.
Do I have any general notion as to which direction that is from here?
Maybe later on you may, but you're not too clear where that would be now.
Okay.
But maybe down the line. Maybe you may have another vision later, because you know, like you were saying, you've been having quite a few of these dreams as of late. So
All
I
right,
don't
I'm
know.
gonna I'm gonna go ahead and put the mask in my pack.
Okay. You're gonna keep it in the, I guess, in the book, or just gonna throw the book away,
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna
what?
keep it with the book. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Zeus, did you do anything special while you were hanging out here in Oakhurst?
No, just staying kind of hidden and foraging for food, cobalt kind of stuff, away from the humans mostly.
All right. You found a shit ton of foraging berries and roots and stuff. So you basically have about, I guess, about 10 days of extra rationing. And also, since you've been honing your skills with your foraging, you can also have a permanent +1 to your survival skill as a bonus. So you can put a +1 bonus in that box there, in the bonus box, miscellaneous box. In fact, I'll do that for you. There you go.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, adventurers. You know the location of this forge. What say you? And plus, you know, you have a couple of tasks. You need to clear that thing out of all of the wretched orcs. And you know that there may be some secret hidden caches of weapons and armor. And that's why you have the bag of holding. Made by the master dwarven smith, Durgadin. His name was Durgadin the Smith. What a boring name, huh? So that's how I want to do downtime days. I hope you guys don't mind downtime days done like that.
I love
Okay.
that.
No problem. I say we start heading there.
Before we
first
leave, can I stop by and grab some more throwing daggers? I've only got one, and I don't like having to constantly keep going over pulling it out of whoever I kill.
Sure. You can even buy yourself a bandolier of daggers.
How much are they? Do we know?
Whatever the player's handbook says, you can get them there at actually from the Huckrell Lion Shield Coster LLC there. So you can get anything you need from the price of the player's handbook.
Okay,
Thank you guys for all of the follows tonight. Appreciate it. All right,
Dave,
adventurers.
before
Mhm.
the next long rest we have, or one between now and we leaving, I would like to identify this small totem, which was Squall's feather token, I think, was what was told us, just to kind of get an idea for what all it does.
For what now?
The Quall's feather token that we found, it's just as a small totem. It's
Yep.
yeah, it's unidentified.
Yeah,
No, I
you
just
had
wanna
plenty
know.
of time. So basically, let's see. This is a tiny object. I remember it now, and I think this is about the only thing that needed to be identified. So you got to be outside to use this token, and as an action, you can basically, in an unoccupied space on the ground, a oak tree will spring into existence. The tree is 60 foot tall, 5 foot diameter, and its branches at the top spread out 20-foot radius. This is what the feather token looks like. I've already showed you guys that. So there's some other notes here as well. Let's see, a druidic focus might be a sprig or mistletoe. That's to go with druid, so we will not do that. We will go ahead and just stay with the base of it to where it will create a tree for you. So I guess it looks like a one-use item. I guess it would be good if you're out in the middle of the desert or something like that. You could use some shade, maybe. 60-foot tall tree.
That or we
20-foot
could
radius.
sell it.
You could do that too.
I think that might actually be more profitable for us.
Well,
So
you
it
are in
looked like-
Neverwinter. You were in Neverwinter. So, I mean, if you want to try to sell that thing, you could find give me actually a percentile die.
Did you see that?
I did not. Nope.
Well, damn, it was an 85.
Nope,
I
did
lost
not see it.
connection. I lost connection to the host. That's why.
Oh, yep. We'll get back to you on that. So does anybody else have any last bit of business that they want to conduct in Oakhurst before you guys make off to this this new destination that you have called Kundrakar?
Who do we speak to about getting building started on the plot of land?
As soon as you got cash to start construction.
How much does it cost?
Well, let's see here.
That would probably depend on what we want them to build.
It sure does. And I just happen to have my my book in front of me with the page marked. Look at that. Well, God damn it. I got the right section marked, but I don't see anything on... I know it's probably in the DMG, so we'll have to come back to that. But it'll cost you money. It's going to definitely cost you money to build something.
We'll come back later.
Quite a bit, actually. I thought I had the correct page marked. God bless it. Thank you guys for all the follows tonight. I see Barlin's back in. Give me that percentile. All right, 49. That's close enough. You find someone that will offer you, hello, sir. I'll offer you 2,133 gold for that item there. Take it or leave it. 2,100.
That's a mighty fine offer.
Yes, there
Can you
is.
sweeten the pot a little bit?
I don't know. Why don't you give me a persuasion roll?
That's an expensive tree.
Sure is. I ain't got all day, Master Barlin. Let's do it. Don't have all day, sir. You got a whole line of people behind you. So just to expedite this process, I'll go ahead and I'll up the pot to... I'll give you 3,000 gold, or 300 platinum, or 3,000 golden gems. It's up to you, and I'm not giving you a copper more. So do you want to sell it or not? Move it or lose
I
it,
will sell
sister.
it.
Move it or lose it.
I'll take it.
Move it or lose it. What kind of currency do you want?
Platinum.
I love that voice. I don't do it enough. All right, so he gives you 300 platinum. You mean to go ahead and put it on the sheet and divide it for everyone, or what? It's up to you.
Yeah, I
Or do
figured
you
we
wanna
could use
keep it?
that to.
Or do you want to...
I've got to carry it back, but we'll use that money to build whatever we have, the plot of land.
Could put that on the party sheet that we've got separated for that.
That'll
Move
work.
it or lose it. Next in line. You're at the Neverwinter Pawn store. My name is Cletus. Cletus the pawnbroker. What are you looking at me like that for? What do you think, I got a funny voice or something? Huh? Okay. So you get 300 for that. Take that off your sheet, and you get back to Oakhurst. Sometimes I amaze my own self, but all right, adventurers, you guys want to head off to this area called the Stone Tooth to find this forge?
Absolutely.
Tally ho.
Tally ho. Okay, so why don't you guys give me one person give me an encounter check. And in fact, we'll say that it's a 4-day travel, and we'll do 2 random encounters. So the first random encounter, someone give me a D20 in the dice tower. No modifiers, just a plain D20. It'll be an 18, 19, or 20. Okay, I've got 2 rolls from you guys, from both Garkin and the Gretch. Hey, how do you like Rudok Spleen Splitter calling you Gherkin, by the way, Garkin? What's up with that?
It's something I've become used to.
Well, the DM's just batching me from both ends of the stick here. He's burning both ends of the candle. Okay, so we'll off into the distance, as you guys are traveling from Oakhurst, you guys have 4 uneventful days. I've told the tracker. Oh, and by the way, Jot, he's happy that you got him those Mount Hotenels, by the way.
I told him I would. I'm a man of my word.
Yeah. This is it took you long enough, though. So you guys are passing.
We were kind of trapped down there for a while. Couldn't get out.
I don't want no excuses from you, pal. 4-day trip. North of Oakhurst. You guys are passing through all of the pine forest, all of the deep vales, going over rivers, going over streams, resting. Everybody deduct 4 days worth of rations as well, please. I'm telling you, I love to deduct rations and torches. I'm one of the rare DMs that actually do that, I think. So now, where you guys are standing, you catch the sight of a very tall, steep hill at the base of Mount Hotenel. This is where it's marked on your map where you need to get a Conjure car. And you can see that there's a path going up the hill. You can see that there is a thin spire sticking out of one of the low mountaintops that has smoke rising up out of it, possibly from a forge. You don't know. Someone may be cooking dinner, but it's definitely within Mount Hotenel. Yes.
Is it possible that we could have traveled during the evening, night times?
Through the who? Through the where?
During evening and nighttime hours?
Sure, yeah.
Is it possible that we could have arrived there during the evening?
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys, sure. Sure. We'll say that it is. The sun is just starting to go down. I'll entertain that, sure, because it is hot this time of the year.
Oh, that's cool.
In the Sword Coast, the sun is just starting to go down over Mount Hotenel, the other mountains. You guys basically traveled half of the day, half of the night, just to kind of be a perfect medium between everybody that wanted to travel at night and wanted to travel during the day. So now it's dimly lit, but as you guys are approaching Mount Hotenel and the other mountains of the Spine of the World and all that other good jazz, you guys could see the path going up. You could see this small little spire with smoke coming out of it. And then there's all kinds of other small hills. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to follow the path? Do you guys want to scout the area? Or maybe because someone or something is up there because something's making that smoke. Or do you just want to kind of hang out, watch and wait, and see what happens? The choice is up to you, adventurers. Just let me know what you want to do so I can get ready to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follows.
We should search the area. If
you guys scout it?
Yeah, scout it. Rurock told us that the orcs should be here, so we definitely want to be prepared. We don't want to be caught unaware if there's like maybe an orc scout or anything out and about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rurock told you that there are a bunch of orcs. Not just one or two, but there are a bunch of orcs.
Maybe see if there's any hidden entrances at the bottom of the. Is this a mountain trail or?
Yeah, there's a path that basically leads right up to the base of Mount Hope now, and you can actually see the path kind of winding up to what appears to be maybe a castle. What appears to be a castle or a fortress that is embedded into the rock of Mount Hope now.
Yeah, we'll scout and then go from there, I think. Is that good?
Yeah, you guys want to be ambitious? I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think we should scout out and watch the area for a bit. I still would like to approach by the path, but
sure.
Scout it out and trying to get some information first before we head in there would be good.
That sounds good, Garkin. Now, I will tell you this. The only safe way up there is that path. But if you want to scout the area and stuff, you're going to have to probably ignore the path. And you're going to have to climb up those steep slopes, all that heavy undergrowth, all that vinage and stuff. Of course, it's going to reduce your pace, probably in half. Maybe a couple skill checks every once in a while with athletics. But you guys, if you guys want to be ambitious, I will entertain that. But it's a pretty steep upslope. Yeah. It's pretty ambitious. You guys are level 3 and 1,500 experience. You guys need what? Looks like about another 1,200 or so to level 4.
We're going to make it exciting, and we're going to scout.
Yeah. Remember, I gave you guys an XP debt last time. I gave you level 3 a little early last time. Maybe if you're all good minions. I mean, not minions, but if you're all good.
You might give us a penalty this time?
No, I may give you a level early, and you may owe me a little bit of experience. So maybe if you're at 2,500 or something, maybe I might give you that level a couple of hundred XP early, and then you'll just continue on the same XP path towards level 4. That's what I did with level 3. So what do you guys are going to scout the area of Mount Hope now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Sounds like a good job for Z's and Elias.
Yeah. Where is Elias? Elias isn't even here.
He keeps lining up when the GM talks.
Yeah, he does. Who's doing this scouting?
I'll scout.
Look at that. The kobold's stepping up to the plate. I like it.
I'm squishy, otherwise I would go.
Well, you're going to have to climb up about 100 foot of this outcropping. You know, like I said, it's a pretty steep climb. You're going to have to wade through a bunch of heavy undergrowth, a bunch of slippery rocks. So you're going to need to give me 2 checks. The first is a strength climbing. Hopefully you have climbing. Everybody also has an inspiration as well. I'm going to add your inspiration. So Z's, you're climbing up this. So why don't you give me a strength check for the first 50 feet. Oh. You're someone that has a great strength. This should be a pretty menial task to you.
It's just a Nothing slippery or anything?
Let's see. You
I'm just wondering if my claws are
athletics. Absolutely. So you have athletics. So why don't you give me a strength athletics check? I don't know why I said climbing. My bad on that. This is my first time DMing 5e. So I'm still getting used to the terminology. I apologize.
I call out Disease and say, you can do it. And I give him an inspiration.
Oh, well, thank God thank Moradin that you just did that, because Zeus rolled a 1.
Lost his grip.
So, yeah, why don't you erase your inspiration there, Barlin, and you can re-roll that, Zeus. And hopefully you roll better than a 1 this time. All right, so you climb up 50 feet. When you climb up 50 feet, you can see that there is a door on the side of this mountain as the path winds up. And on this path, there are a couple of orcs. And these orcs are just kind of lolly-dolly and gaggling around. You can see 2 orcs. They are standing guard along the edge of the path. Only 2 orcs. And then you can also see that there is a stone fortress that is basically carved into the base of Mount Hotenau. And you can see lights flickering inside as if someone is home.
I'm going to climb back down and tell them about the door and the 2 orcs.
Okay. No check for that. You're able to climb down successfully and shimmy your way down.
Z's fine door, guarded by 2 orcs.
I pat Z's on the shoulder and tell him good job.
You want me to try sneak past and go further, or shall we? Your choice.
I'll explain that a little bit better for you too, Z's, so you can relay that information to your party. Well, as I tell you, and you just automatically relayed it. Now the path, as it leads up, it's sort of like a zigzagging going up, and there's like this circular tower that you go through to get to the actual stone road. It's not. It goes from being like a natural earthen path to an actual cobblestone path that leads up to the front door. And it's pretty much it has one more final turn as it ascends up some stairs to the actual front gate. You can see that there is a front gate there too. And these orcs, they're not at the tower. They're all the way down towards where the path zigs back up to the final rise of the path. Hope I'm explaining that right. But you only see 2 orcs, which is okay. And they're just kind of sitting there playing grab ass with one another, kind of rustling around and stuff.
Yeah, what I just said. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
I think we should try and sneak up on them. They sound like they're distracted, so it may be easier for us.
Thanks, guys, for all the follows. Totally appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So how far are you guys?
Back up?
Well, are you guys going up the path? Because you can there was nothing, because you could see the path as well, Zeus, and there was nothing on the path. The only 2 orcs that you saw was on that last switchback